commission members that are on this evening, and appreciate everyone else who is here tonight. This is the first public hearing of the Baltimore County Councilmanic Redistricting Commission. As people may or may not know, the commission was established pursuant to the county charter, which requires about every 10 years for a councilmanic redistricting process to occur. The last time we did this was 2011, and by resolution, the county council is required to create a redistricting commission and name the members. We did that again in 2021. The charter states that we're required to do this by March 1st of the year in which the redistricting is taking place. It's all generally based on the US Census data that comes out at this time every 10 years as well. We did that on March 1st. The commission was created. By statute, the commission is required to hold at least 3 public hearings. This one to this evening is the first of 3. The next one is scheduled for Thursday, June the 3rd. That one will be at 5 p.m. And the next one, the third one, and potentially final one, will be next week on Wednesday, June the 9th at 5 p.m. They are, in an abundance, I guess, of caution, they are being held virtually. We did the same thing with the comprehensive rezoning last summer. They were held virtually, and people were given the opportunity to testify virtually as they are now. That we were in the throes of the pandemic then, but that system worked very well, and we had many people sign up and testify. We've also, I guess I'm just going through this just to give people an idea that it does work. We have done this for our work sessions as well, and on certain bills that generated some interest, there have been many people that have testified, and it's worked well. So we continued that for these hearings, not knowing where we would be at this point in time, and with the state of emergency still in effect, and with things getting much better but still not out of the woods, as the health officer, Dr. Branch, would say, we rather than trying to get people into a school auditorium, not knowing what the numbers might be, we are convening these virtually. So long story short, that's where we are at this moment. The commission is required by the charter to submit its recommendations on potential new boundaries for the 7 councilmanic districts by October the 15th, I believe, of this year. The council then gets the handoff from the redistricting commission and then continues by reviewing its recommendations, the commission's recommendations, and following through on what it deems appropriate, whether it follows those recommendations or tweaks them or does something differently. And the council is required to enact legislation with the new district boundaries by the end of January of 2022. Ideally, we would be done before then, but not knowing when the census data will come through, that's all up in the air. I will say one other thing, because we don't have the census data and we don't know exactly when that will occur, we are considering using other data, such as the American Community Survey data, which is proven to be reliable over the years, I think. It may not, and we may end up having to use that data, and then when the census data finally does come in, we'll maybe kind of check ourselves using that data to make sure that what the commission perhaps is doing with the ACS data comports with the official data. But that's just something to think about as we move forward. At this time, I'd like to introduce the commission members. I guess I'll just go by who is listed here on the panelist list. So I'll start with Jim Allman. Jim, if there's anything you'd like to say, now's the time, and you can unmute yourself.
Thank you, Tom, and thank you and everyone who's able to get this all together logistically. I know it's not easy. I want to thank my fellow board members or commission members for joining this endeavor, and I look forward to hearing from the public. And yeah, that's basically it.
Thank you, Jim. Next is Robert Latshaw Jr.
Thank you, Tom. As you all know, I've did this 10 years ago, and it's a little bit difficult without the census information, but we will prevail, and everything will be just fine. Look forward to the comments from the community also.
Thank you. Next, Sam Newberger.
Thanks, Tom. Sam Newberger, lifelong resident of Baltimore County, the 2nd District. It's really a privilege to be able to give back and have a little bit of community service this way, just giving up a couple of evenings. But again, apologies for the delays in kicking this off, and look forward to working with my fellow members and the public. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. And next is Sophia Montgomery.
Hi, I'm Sophia Montgomery. I'm president of Chesapeake Gateway Chamber of Commerce, and I look forward to the community input. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just a little background also. There's 3 public hearings that we have scheduled. This one, as the notice has indicated and the sign up, is focused mainly on districts on the west side of the county. When we did this 10 years ago, we had 3 public hearings. We had one on the west side, one here in the Towson, in the council chamber for the kind of the central area, and then we had one at a school on the east side of the county. So in that spirit, this virtual hearing is sort of the same thing. We're focused mainly on districts 1, 2, and 4, but our drop-down menu for anyone that wanted to register and testify indicated you could also speak about your concerns on the west side of the county generally, and we also had an other drop-down menu. So if you wanted to talk about another district or something else related to redistricting, you could certainly do that as well. And we've also got a website. I'm sorry, a email specifically for the Redistricting Commission. Chris, can you state what that is exactly?
I'm sorry, Mr. Boswick, I'm multitasking. Could you repeat the question?
What is the email address?
Oh, it's Councilmanic Redistricting altogether at baltimorecounty.md.gov.
Thanks. And that is also on the page where people would join for tonight's hearing and for Thursday's hearing and next Wednesday's. It does say, please send all emails to councilmanicredistricting@baltimorecounty.md.gov. So if someone doesn't want to testify or is more comfortable sending an email, they can certainly do that either in lieu of or in addition to testimony. So with all that said, we do have quite a few attendees. How many people registered and signed up to testify, Chris?
We only had one person fill out a speaker registration form to testify this evening.
Okay. Is that person on with us?
Yes, they are. That would be Mr. Ryan Coleman. Would you like me to get Mr. Coleman on?
Right. The only other thing I would add is, generally speaking, the rules of procedure for the public hearings in general are that persons, again, should have registered online using our speaker registration form on our virtual sessions and hearings webpage. You're permitted up to 3 minutes to speak, and I'm sure the commission members would like to hear. So I'm going to mute myself now.
Okay, I'll call Mr. Coleman. Mr. Coleman?
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Hewitt?
Yes.
Hi. Good evening, everyone. How are you?
Good.
Good. 2 minutes, correct? Good evening, commission members. Good evening, commission members and the general community. My name is Ryan Coleman, and I'm the president of the Randallstown NAACP. 30 years ago, the Supreme Court expanded the meaning of one of the most important civil rights laws in U.S. history, the Voting Rights Act of 1965. The court solution required that states create a majority-minority districts in which the majority of voting age population belong to a single minority. With voting that occurred largely along racial lines, these districts allowed minority voters to elect candidates of choice. But a fascinating development occurred in the years since. These districts, rather than giving African Americans more political power, might have actually started to deprive them of it. Majority minority districts, by concentrating the minority vote in certain districts, have the unintended consequence of diluting their influence elsewhere. This is called packing a district. In Baltimore County, we created the 4th district to ensure an African-American councilperson could be elected. The district sits at over 75% African-American. Woodlawn is cut in half by the 1st and 4th districts. Hillendale is cut in half by the 5th and 6th districts. Much like political gerrymandering, it limits Black influence in surrounding districts. Baltimore County most likely will be a minority majority county when the census comes out. And at minimum, we should have 3 councilmatic districts that matches the African-American population. I'm hopeful that the commission will look at the lines from an equity lens and create redistricting through that.
Composition of Baltimore County, Maryland.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Chris, so there are no other speakers signed up?
No, Mr. Bostwick, and I even tried to be, as we discussed earlier, I was proactive, and I saw that we had some people registered in advance for the WebEx, and sometimes people get confused thinking that they're registering to speak when they were registering actually just to attend the WebEx. So I did reach out earlier today for those who had already registered, just to make sure that their intent was not to testify. And I didn't get any email replies back, so I'm assuming that this was the one intended speaker for this evening.
Okay. We do have 36 attendees, which are people who, for whatever reason, wanted to look and hear about this hearing, but I guess did not feel the need to testify. So I guess that kind of leaves us where we are.
Well, Mr. Bostwick, I do want to just point one thing out, which is the commission is not mandated to have only 3 meetings. That's the minimum.
Right.
If the commission does feel that, for whatever reason, it needs more than 3 meetings, it is free to have those.
Right. Well, I guess we'll cross that bridge if and when we get to it. And we'll convene on Thursday and see what those numbers bring. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Any of the commission members? I think you're muted, Mr. Latshaw.
Councilman.
Go ahead. You were muted, Mr. Latshaw.
I'm muted.
Not now.
You were.
Okay. I had talked to Councilman Julian Jones a couple times about trying to create an extra district in Baltimore County. And having just Googled the numbers, not that Google is the answer for everything, but apparently, according to that, the white population, non-Hispanic, is 56.5%. Black or African American is about 28.7%. Then you have Asian 6%, white Hispanic 2.8%, whatever. To answer the inquiry by the gentleman who had talked earlier, and it's not so much a question of the population, and we would like to be able to create 2 districts, but because the African American population is scattered all around the county, they're almost impossible to be able to group them into a particular district. And not that we won't try, but demographically, it's very difficult.
And the only thing I would add to that, Mr. Latshaw, is the charter, your charter mandated mission of the commission as well as the county council is that the final plan in subsection C of section 207 of the charter, which discusses revision of districts, it states that the final plan may not increase or decrease the number of councilmanic districts in effect at the time. So what is being requested would require gerrymandering, for better or worse, within the 7 districts that you have now.
Mhm.
So that's just something to throw out there. Any other questions or comments? Well, that was briefer than I thought it might be, but I'm not sure what else to do. We have a lot of attendees, but only one person signed up to testify. So I'll leave it up to the 4 members that are present as to whether you want to make a motion to adjourn or.
Tom, excuse me again. My only thought is that if we advertised it as being 7 to 8, maybe you could sing a song or something, but we had sent out, remember I told you we were going to send out an email. Well, unfortunately I got tied up at not a hearing with an engineering firm until about 5 o'clock. We got that out about 10 over quarter of 7 to about 22,000 people with the links that Chris was talking about. So we might just have somebody pop up and see that email, try to get online, and listen to the hearing.
Right.
Now it's up. I mean, if everybody wants to adjourn, that's fine. But I'm just telling you, there's a possibility some other people might sign up, and hopefully I will help get that out for the county. The announcements generally a couple of days before, but as you know, what we do at the Economic Forum, the last minute stuff is what people pay attention to.
Right. Well, we have 2 more hearings coming up. They're focused on, as I indicated at the top, or other districts, but people will also be able to sign up to testify about anything redistricting related. So again,
is there a motion for adjournment? Come on, we got to
Make the motion.
is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor, voice vote?
Aye.
Aye.
I think the ayes have it.
Chris didn't vote.
I'm not a commission member.
But vote anyway. Okay, well done. This was our first stab at it. And I think next go round, we're going to get more people. Maybe they will understand the system a little bit better. And we'll get some of the, like Kathy and who else over there? We get Todd, maybe can get the word out and we can get some more input. But it was nice. Who put the map up of the districts? Did you guys do that?
We did that. Mr. Phillips in the office did that.
Mr. Phillips?
Mr. Adam Phillips.
Hello,
That'd be
Adam.
me.
Hello, Adam. I know. No, that's real helpful because when people start talking about different sections of the district, if you've got that in video form, that's great.
Well, and we will share them as people testify. We will, just to give everybody a bit of a visual as to, yes, Chris.
No, go ahead and finish. I just, before you wrap up, someone had a chat and I just wanted to make a reference to it.
Well, again, we'll have those up so that when people do testify, we'll have something of a visual aid as to what they're talking about and where they're talking about.
Mr. Boswick, someone chatted that they didn't attend the process 10 years ago, and they thought, I guess they assumed tonight would be a discussion of what was being considered versus taking testimony. So I didn't know if you wanted to clarify to the attendees what the process is.
Okay. The process is that a public hearing is just that, a public hearing for the public. This is the opportunity that the public has to sign up and testify and express their views about their community. Particularly for people who may live near the borders of councilmanic districts that may be most affected by any changes that might or might not happen. but anybody, frankly, who's concerned about redistricting in general or their particular district, this is their opportunity, the public's, to express their views to the commission members and ultimately the county council members for consideration. So if in the future, at the next hearing, that's the task. You can either email the commission or testify at the hearings. Thank you.
All right, may I suggest, I don't know if they'll do it, if we could send out like a public information request to BAL and what have you, just to flash it either on the radio or on the TV, just a quick little announcement. They're always hungry for news, and I haven't seen anything in the electronic media about the hearings.
Okay,
It's a possibility. Doesn't cost anything.
will do.
And one more chat before we wrap it up. Someone asked about getting a copy of the proposed redistricting map versus the present map. And am I right, Tom, in saying there isn't a proposed map right now? There's only the existing map.
Correct.
The proposed map will be based on all the input and information gathered.
Correct. The proposed map will be the map that you, as the commission, recommend to the county council as part of your recommendation. You know, the way this was done last time and the way it'll be done this time is the commission will pen a letter to the county council with a narrative of the process, the things that you considered, the data that you reviewed and the results of that, and the recommendations you made based on that data and the input that you received from the public, as well as your own discussions, and then you will make a recommendation in that letter along with the maps that illustrate your recommendations as to any potential changes to the boundaries of the districts. And then, so that'll be the proposed maps. There are none yet because we're still at the very beginning of this.
Is the county able to create a redistricting website where you could have the whole county districts all broken up in one fell swoop, and then each district highlighted so they could zoom in on it and see what it is now?
Well, currently they can do that, and I don't know if Chris can share it, but the county council's website, you know, has that capability. If you let's see.
Well, let me give you a suggestion. If you request, if Chris would send me that link that goes directly to the maps, I'll send that out in the next 22,000 emails I send, so people can click it and get right to it. If you ask people to go to a website and find it, they generally don't want to do it.
Well, if people are on the county council's homepage, if they click on Tom Quirk, Councilman Tom Quirk, his map, the map of the entire county is on his personal homepage, and they click on detailed map and it shows his map, and people can enlarge that map and really zoom in on where things are, in fact, including precincts. So, I mean, it doesn't get much easier than that. And they can do Mr. Patoka, Council District 2, same thing, detailed map.
Oh, each council person has it.
Correct. Each council person has their own map of their district, current district, on the council's homepage. So
if I send out just the link to the homepage, that's all we need.
That's all you need, and people can just click on each of the council members' likeness. Each council member's picture is on the homepage, and if they just click on that likeness, it'll take the person to that council person's page, and if they scroll down, there's the map.
Okay, good. Thanks, Tom.
Yes, sure.
Thanks,
certainly.
Chris. You guys have done a good job.
Thank you. And we will have more information on the Redistricting Commission website, which is also a page on the council's website. And it's in the yellow box on the council's homepage. So if you are on the county council homepage, if you look in the yellow alert box, there is county council redistricting process, and there is information on there, and we are continuing to put information on there, and we will continue to do that.
Okay. I just want, Tom, I just want to make it as easy as possible, because if we think about, I remember Dutch Rupersberger told us a bunch of years ago that Baltimore County is one of the oldest populations east of the Mississippi for a county. And older people are not that quick, you know, maybe easy for you young folks. But for the older people, they just don't do it. Go to the website, try to click here and there. They don't get it. But if they can just click one thing and get to what we're trying to give them, is not a bad idea.
Understood.
And one more, just to add before we sign off here, Mr. Plymouth did make it on just by telephone, so he has been listening in to the meeting. He just hasn't been able to participate verbally.
Hi, Aaron.
Okay.
Good. Tom, Chris, Adam, good job.
Thank you.
And next hearing will be even better because we'll get more people here.
Thursday, June the 3rd, 5 p.m. Please get on the county council's homepage. If you Google Baltimore County Council, it'll take you right there.
Okay.
And get on and look at the yellow box and sign up to testify.
All right. And Chris will send this link out just before the meeting again.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Good night.
See you. Good night.